Hey everyone, welcome to Orb Creations, the show where I build an app, you get to see how I do it, and you get the source code in the description. Today, we're building a color generator app. You can use the app to generate a set of color schemes for you. To get started with this color generator app, we're going to clone the template React repository from the Orb Cloud's GitHub account. Link is in the description. We use this repo to get started quickly on all of our React apps. When rapidly prototyping React apps without much planning, I like to act as though I'm traversing the component tree and build each component along the way. So we begin in the app component. Let's define a basic layout for the page with a header where the user can select the base color for their color schemes, and a body where the color schemes will be shown. I always like to keep hooks in a separate file from the component markup, so let's go define the state and the handler. The state will be initialized to a hex value with React's useState hook, and the handler will be memoized using React's useCallback hook. We want to set the color to the uppercase version of the value each time it's updated. Now back in our component, we want the body to render a bunch of panels, one for each kind of color combination that we want to present. We'll define these combinations in a constant. Later, we'll flesh out more details of this constant, but for now, we know we want to have an array of objects that have a name attribute and an algorithm method. The name will be displayed to tell the user what kind of color combination is displayed, and the algorithm will take a string hex color as input and return an array of string hex colors that make up the color combination. This is what gets passed down for rendering. Unfortunately, as you'll see later, this method of defining algorithms runs into some performance issues. First, let's deal with the ColorSelector component. This component is relatively straightforward, since we'll take advantage of the HTML color input type. However, we do want to style the input to look a bit better than the native input, so we'll hide the native input, give the wrapping div a background color to match the color value, and set the div and label styles so that the label covers the entire div. This means when the user visits the page, they'll see and interact with the label instead of the input. Setting the HTML4 prop on the label allows interactions on the label to be analogous to the same interactions on the input. So for example, clicking the label will still open the color selector. The getBackgroundStyle function is a helper that tries to find a good font color for displaying text given the background. It's not perfect, but it works well enough to find a contrasting color for the text when the background changes. It makes use of a couple rather expensive and unoptimized functions that convert between RGB and HSL colors. But I won't bore you with all that stuff in this video. You can check it out at the GitHub link in the description if you're interested. The combination component takes the name and the algorithm we defined earlier and a base color as input. It renders a section panel with a heading and a gallery view of the colors that comprise that color combination. It gets the color combination by calling the algorithm function with the color it received. Recall that algorithm is the method that takes a hex string color as input and returns an array of hex string colors. Each color is then passed to a color component for rendering. The color component renders a button and a div with a background corresponding to the color value that it receives as a prop. The button is here because we want to allow the user to copy the color's hex code just by clicking it. The hook that accomplishes this is a useCallback hook, which accesses the Clipboard Web API to write the hex value to the user's clipboard. It displays a copied message for 1 second, and we change the message back inside a useEffect hook. We'll need to store the timeout inside a useRef hook so we can clear it on unmount. The algorithms that I'm using to determine color combinations perform a variety of transformations. In general, they all take a hex string as input, parse the hex to a decimal RGB representation, convert that RGB to HSL, generate new colors in the HSL space, and then translate the new colors back into hex. This whole process could probably be improved, but it works for now. So the app works fine now, and we can make it pretty, but there does seem to be some performance issues with state updates. Clearly, there's a lot of stuff changing, and since all the state is lifted up at the app component, the entire app will try to re-render on every state change, which happens every time you pick a new color. This is fine for users entering a color or clicking once, but your computer is likely to struggle if you drag the selector around a lot. I didn't have time to try and optimize this, but maybe you do? Let me know if you have any ideas in the comments, and feel free to clone the repo linked in the description to play around for yourself. I'm eager to hear what you come up with. And there you have it, a color generator app. This app is currently hosted on Orb at colors.orbapps.com. Link is in the description. All of the code that goes into this app is linked in the description as well. Be sure to check out these other videos on your screen right now. YouTube doesn't tell me ahead of time what they are, but I'm sure that they're great. If you want to stay up to date on new apps we're building and coding tips and tricks, be sure to demolish that subscribe button and follow us everywhere else. Until next time, remember, the color of the wind is blue.